Welcome Aquarius to your in-depth weekly horoscope for week commencing the 24th of July for the Sun or the Ascendant. The Sun's move into Leo gives you an opportunity over the next 4 weeks to enjoy relating. Now Venus is already in this location, but of course is in retrograde, but forges still this week a quite lovely link to the North Node. If you choose your words with care and you really mean what you say, someone can feel a real bond with you that's very sweet. Venus retrograde, yes, well, I have read some astrologers saying that, or their titles on their videos, that past loves are coming back into your life. Well, I hope if that's what you want, that might happen, but I think we have to understand that Venus isn't, to begin with, only about relationships. It is about money. It's also about our self-worth. It's also about how we present ourselves. It's also about, through its rulership of Libra, diplomacy. Diplomacy has its place, and definitely having Venus on the 7th house in a chart comparison between two players in a relationship can be a sign of a greater opportunity to share harmony. But right at the start of this week, your modern ruler Uranus comes along and forges a very disruptive angle to Mercury. So there could actually be quite a challenging conversation at the start of this week. Also, the quarter moon, which occurs on Tuesday, can see your emotions very close to the surface. If someone isn't being very reasonable about a relationship matter or not prepared to enter into the give and take, doesn't need to be a personal relationship, could be a colleague, could be a family member, it's going to be hard to disguise how you feel. And also, if finances is something that's a concern, with Saturn continuing its crunch in opposition to Mars through to the middle of this week, well, that's not easy either. So yes, we can have these aspirational ideas that Venus retrograde will solve all of our problems very simply. I think it is, or astrology is something that we have to work with great care with, because all sorts of scenarios are possible and there's never one outcome. And that's, basically what the detractors of astrology don't understand. So Venus in the 7th house in retrograde gives you the chance to rethink your approach to relating, and that could see a rethink on someone you used to know, but it needs to have been a rethink from them too. And perhaps if you both really worked on it, it would be possible. But I feel that for most people, this is about understanding where you are in the here and now with relationships, and Venus retrograde, along with the node, is asking you to dive deep to get greater understanding of your key motivations. And an example of this is this week the Sun actually goes into quincunx with Saturn. Saturn in your second solar house in retrograde has really been asking some serious questions about everyday money, but also self-worth since the 7th of March. So having the Sun in the 7th house in a 150 angle with Saturn suggests if you don't feel completely comfortable in yourself, having all these planets this week in the 7th house of relating is not going to be a panacea to meet the love of your life. And that's where we have to be really careful with astrology, to keep it real, be decent, pick out the parts of it that are full of possibility. For example, Mars goes on to forge a fantastic link with Jupiter in the second half of this week. If you have been negotiating on a property matter, it could take a giant step forwards. Also on Friday, Mercury moves into the second of its two home zones of Virgo, and this also is an opportunity to understand what goes on at a more subterranean level. So people tell us all sorts of things, we read all sorts of things online. What is the truth? We need to decipher that subtext, and Mercury in this location can see you dive deep about all sorts of subjects. It could be a period of time when you understand more about finance, taxation, the meaning of life, mysteries, mysticism, the occult, all sorts of things, but it will be a long transit through to the 5th of October. So a week that is very much about relationships, but it's not necessarily without its bumps. How you feel about yourself, The financial side of a relationship is very important, and also understanding with the combination of the Sun and the position of Saturn, that when we relate to people, perhaps the most important thing is how we relate to ourselves. And if that relationship is clear, the relationship to others can be so much sweeter. I'd just like to share with you a truly wonderful opportunity. Year 2023 is speeding by, and year 2024 is racing towards us. If you would like to order your year 2024 personal horoscope forecast based on your birth data, your unique birth data, I will provide for you in my 30% off package your character analysis report, your life roadmap. Getting an understanding of your life roadmap is really important, because we all have patterns that evolve in our life, and the more intimately we can understand why these influences occur, the more we can start to tackle them in a constructive way. Please see the link below for more, but these are produced solely for the person I create them for, so no two charts are the same, and a really brilliant opportunity for you.